When a millionaire's child and a servant's child alternate from birth, 25 years have passed. Bantu actually knew that he's a millionaire and was swapped by a jealous servant. What will be the story from now on? Hello there. Welcome into Look Like Love Movie Recap channel. Do you want to go to the channel today? Ad will spoil the movie Air, True Heart. Before watching the ad, one person, like encouraging to add two. One Miki and Ramachandra took a job at the art company at the same time. But after that, with the brilliance of Ramachandra, keep him in charge. It's a favorite of the Infinite owners of the company. Until he finally married Yasu Infinite's daughter and trusted to take care of all affairs. Miki Day part, he later became a servant at Ramachandra's house. One day, Miki traveled to the hospital to take care of his newly born wife, also waiting to take care of the tobacco that is giving birth. And after she finished giving birth, during which the nurse was carrying the child to the tobacco, the child stopped breathing. The nurse rushed to consult on Miki Day, tobacco's servants, what to do. She was afraid of trouble for causing the death of her millionaire child during her carry, so Miki would sacrifice his son who had just given birth. Swap with the dead baby. He thought that even though he wasn't with the baby, but his child will have a comfortable life, has grown up in a millionaire's house, and after switching the baby who stopped breathing and then came back to breathe again. The nurse then went to replace the baby, but Miki Day refused, because deep down, he is jealous of Ramachandra for working with him, but now he's a rich man. Personally, he's just a servant. Miki Day therefore wants Ramachandra's children to grow up hard. The nurses refused. She doesn't want to take children from her parents. The pair snatched the baby until the nurse fell off the balcony in a coma. After that, the real child of Juan Miki was raised by Ramachandra's family. He named the boy Raj. As for Ramachandra's biological children, they were raised by the Juan Miki family and gave him the bad name Bantu. It's a few treat the two children very differently. He took good care of him as a servant, and Bantu was cursed, being bullied, speak insults, don't hurt his mind except one day. Good belongings, I never bought it, but Bantu was a smart man, have good grades, can graduate MBA comfortably. Bantu is a cheerful man, talking well, all-round talent, different with Rad who did not finish school, cowardly, shy, and soft-headed. And on the day Rad returned from abroad, Miki Day wants pumpkins to be welcomed, but there's no kitchen. Therefore called to tell Bantu to buy, but when Bantu will carry it to the house, Miki Day refused, so he asked his father, wondering why he had never even let him inside once. So you said it was a rich man's house? Kid, you are humble. One morning, Bantu prepared to go to the job interview, but Miki Day threw the burden on Bantu to take his sister to the market and run errands for him, regardless of whether Bantu goes to the job interview in time, which the Bantu side agreed to do. During the sister standing by the roadside, she was snatched by a motorcycle gang. It's still good that Bantu can help in time. Bantu pretended not to be angry with those people, so the sister is touchy, so he decided to go after the scarf from dozens of motorcycle gangs. So there's a one crowd battle, 10 doors to show the gods. Turn it off and wrap your neck along with those people until it's messy. Then he went to a job interview with a travel company, but chief HR should have to interview him. Had a little accident, so the sales department came instead. In the interview, Bantu told me about his rich life and also said that he has one. Highlight, he can't lie. It made the interviewer so pity and impressed that he wanted to get Bantu into the job. In Bantu will have to take the papers to the chief. HR approved. He was one of the motorcycle gangs that Bantu had just managed. But Bantu used a cunning trick to catch on. HR signed the document confused. After that, Bantu met a beautiful girl in the elevator. He kept looking at her legs because he couldn't stop himself, and also told her that the dress looks good, but he didn't know that beautiful girl was Mu, the owner of this tour company. But even though Bantu already knew she was the boss, he still can't stop her eyes from looking at her thigh. If not, Bantu was punished to be a tour guide to the hot desert, continue with the cold poles. Until finally, Mu realized that Bantu was actually a good person. Then they traveled to see the event in Paris. On this trip, Bantu kept looking at Mu's legs again. But he didn't just look at him. He flirted with her until the couple finally fell in love. On the business side of Ramachandra, now facing a financial crisis, this has reached the ear of the Invention, the stupid son Nadu. So take this opportunity to buy shares at a very cheap price. Of course, Ramachandra won't sell. Rejecting an influential offer is a difficult thing to do, but if you can, that person will be respected. So Ramachandra's father-in-law will take this opportunity for Raj. His nephew tried it. Both the Raj side, knowing that it was going to be difficult to work and face the influencer, were very scared. If so, Ramachandra still doesn't trust Raj to handle everything himself. He keeps observing through the camera, keep telling me the information, and what to say for Raj. Negotiations begin, invent different information to intimidate the sale of shares. But Ramachandra solved the situation. He told Raj to reject the offer. There's nothing to talk about, but Raj dared not speak out. Ramachandra is very disappointed in his son, until he finally had to express himself in denial. Meanwhile, Amu and Bantu came to see the capitalists at the same hotel lobby where Ramachandra sat, which the capitalists want to buy the company, but Amu doesn't sell. She was afraid and presumptuous to refuse to go straight, so she said it indirectly, recruiting reasons to assemble all. The capitalists don't care, also threatening Amoy to sell. Ramachandra, sitting there, said that people today can't deny each other anymore. Suddenly, Bantu couldn't stand Amu being done by the capitalists. He threw the tablet on the table and looked at the capitalist's face. His card will therefore come to handle, but everyone was rehearsed on the slide. Then he went to sit next to the capitalist and preach to honor women, and also intimidate the capitalists. Bantu told him that when people refuse the offer, that means no, especially when a woman says no. That was no. What Bantu did to the capitalist was very pleasing to Ramachandra, to the point of telling his father-in-law that Bantu made him look like a reflection of himself, unlike when he looked at the king through the notebook screen today. That doesn't even dare to say no, but Ramachandra is talking about others is better. Then Raj, it also upset the mother's spirit. She said not to compare Raj to anyone else. Raj is a prince to her. Then she walked away. As for Infinity, he said that the people he was interested in were not just Bantu, but he's more interested in Amu, because she's good and talented. It made the company grow very fast in just 2 years. So Infinite had the idea of getting her to marry Rat. On the family side of Amu, it is very glad to be the same family as the millionaire. They were invited to eat at Ramachandra's house and agreed to it. But there seemed to be only 2 happy people, which is Amu and one Mickey's father. As for Amu, she called Bantu, hoping to come to help, but it's too late. After that, Amu and Bantu came to the shelter. Because the capitalist was informed, during the police wait, Amu blamed Bantu for having an affair with the capitalist, until Ramachandra saw and was interested in her. When the police arrived, the capitalist told the police that his body was destroyed by Bantu. But the police don't believe Bantu can handle those big cards alone, which is good for Bantu because it won't get caught, but with the habit of speaking only the truth of Bantu. He also regretted that the cool fight at the time was seen as a lie. Bantu then punched the floating card to the wall of the show. But the policeman bent over and took the item, so I didn't see it, which no matter what, Bantu says. The police don't believe it. Mu took him out. The story will end. While walking out of the shelter, Mu asked Bantu why he kept telling the truth. You want to go to jail so much? That she doesn't want to get married? She hasn't spoken yet, because of her truth, it would upset my father. So Bantu advised her, then go tell Ramachandra instead. Tell Dad, which she said she'd try. She finally decided to go talk to Ramachandra. But when he got back, he couldn't find him at his office. Bantu went for a walk and went to Jaram Jantada lying on the floor, with a stab wound in the middle of the chest. It was Mr. Dew who left the room shortly after. He came to untie his arm instead of his son, who was rejected by Ramachandra. Bantu rushed him to the hospital, but he couldn't go downstairs because the elevator was closed by Naidu and the fire escape was locked by his men. You look happy. He's sure Ramachandra will die, but suddenly Bantu brought down Ramachandra with a basket and can be taken to the hospital in time. In the province where Ramachandra is about to enter the operating room, well, a patient saw them. She's the nurse who switched babies. She's always been sleeping in a coma, and just revived today when hurriedly asked Bantu if it was Ramachandra's child. He said it wasn't, with pointing to see what's over there. My dad just arrived when the nurse turned to look, saw that Wikiday was taking Infinity to sit and wait for surgery. She knew immediately that, really? And Bantu is the child of Ramachandra. Then she told him the whole truth. But Bantu still doesn't believe it. When that nurse said Mickey's name, he started to believe a little. She asked Bantu to call Ramachandra because she wants to be the one to tell him the whole truth, but it didn't catch up. Her condition collapsed again. After that, Yazoo arrived. Bantu looked at her with the eyes of her child looking at her mother. He walked in on her. Then Amu said this was Bantu, the person who brought Ramachandra to send Bhat. When Yasu knew that he was the person that Ramchandra had compared to Rat, she resented Bantu after that. Miki took Bantu back. On the way, he found the nurse lying in bed, so Miki asked how she was, enough to know she's dead. Miki Day accidentally smiled for a moment, which also makes Bantu more confident that all this is true. He pretended to ask Miki if he knew the deceased. Miki Day said no, then Bantu slapped him in the face full force. I've been listening to your lies since I was so annoyed. On the day side, a few confused what happened. During the motorcycle ride back together, Bantu said, "Ask me why I slapped you in the face." Miki Day said that you slapped your father's face and still say something else. So Bantu said, "You weren't my father. You swapped me down." On the day side, Miki still doesn't admit to confessing. He asked Bantu to go back, that you believed in the comatose nurse, 25 years old. Bantu therefore replied that, "I haven't mentioned the nurse yet. Make it finally." Miki Day is cornered. He confessed the truth. He said he wanted his children to live a happy life, which made Bantu very angry, almost unable to control myself. That he must have encountered something like this a few days, afraid that Raj will regret it and have to come back to a hard life. So he begged Bantu not to tell anyone about this. But Bantu won't tell anyone about it, which is the only story in life that doesn't tell the truth, because if told, there must be many more regrets. He didn't want to call the mother who raised him well an aunt. He doesn't want tobacco. His real mother must be sorry. Besides, he doesn't want any money. Right now, just be free from Miki Day. Don't try to keep Miki Day loving and proud. It's enough. The next day, Bantu secretly visited Ramchandra at the hospital. And when he saw this family, I immediately realized that there were a lot of problems, both relations between Ramachandra and Yasu that are not very good, and Raj doesn't take anywhere. Dare not speak, dare not think. On the relative side, always secretly embezzling money. So he really wanted to help his father. He solves these problems. Bantu went to ask one Miki to help him get into that house, but Miki Day refused. On the infinite side, I want to thank the man who saved my son-in-law's life. So he ordered one Miki to take him, but the doctor interrupted, because he is upset that the infinite does not thank him. Don't see the importance of being a doctor who operates. After Ramachandra came out of the hospital, instead, that doctor suggested having good people come to look after Ramachandra, especially people who are not like us, like the guy who dropped him off at the hospital, so it makes Infinity suspicious. Because before, the doctor didn't agree to call Bantu, and finally, the doctor helped to talk. Until Infinite decided to call Bantu here, then one Miki needed to call Bantu, and he found out why the doctor cheered Bantu so much, which is because Bantu brought his son to listen to music and pretend to take pictures to threaten the doctor. When Bantu arrived, Infinite went in to thank and admire him. Infinite asks how much salary the job is doing now, because Infinite will hire Bantu to work with by doubling the salary. As for what to do, I'll think, then Bantu asked Infinite if he had condoned you that he stabbed Ramachandra. Infinite said it was reported. But that look is very influential. Besides, we still don't have enough evidence, so the police can't condone it. Bantu said that then we went to talk to him ourselves. Then the pair broke into the dock, just the two of them. The craftsman blocked it, and also pushed Infinity, make Bantu see that. Don't wait. Hurry up and take them one by one. His skill is too divine for anyone to resist. Bantu was so cruel that those people gave up and turned to serve Bantu and Infinite again. Enough of this to the artificial ear. He immediately rushed to find it. Bantu said not to discuss this conflict, let it end, but the artificial side wouldn't say anything, makes Bantu and Infinite have to travel back. On the way, I met you, so Bantu stopped to sarcasm and threaten you. Later, Aim's family come visit Chandra at home, enough to see. He greeted Emu very closely, and also told Father Emu that she didn't like Rat's father even fainted. After that, the police officer was another Mahatma Chandra to ask how much police custody is needed, but Bantu said, no, there is a whole person. Just him alone is like having a guard over the whole army. So the police asked who you were, why decide instead? So Bantu told me the whole story, that he was actually Ramachandra's child. Of course, the police don't believe it. He asked why he didn't tell everyone this. Bantu replied that because I sacrificed, later Anant tried to have Bantu go in to talk to Ramchandra because he wants to know what his son-in-law is thinking and how do you feel, which he usually never tells anyone. But when Bantu went to talk to him, he talked to Bantu. After they finished talking, they rushed in and asked how it was. Bantu says what Ramachandra is most concerned about is family matters, especially about Raj, that one. So I said very clearly that Raj is like this. Never have their own thoughts, never get mad at anyone before dying. Wanting to see the emotional explosion once is still good. Shortly after Bantu came to work, the habit of speaking only his truth is powerful. He told the Infinite truth about the embezzlement of the uncle. So Infinite chased them to chaos. In the meantime, Yasu came in and asked me how he knew what they were doing. That one said that he knew Bantu. Bantu only speaks the truth. That one believed him. Yasu then challenged to prove it by asking for the reason that his uncle embezzled the money. Now, from just embezzlement, it spread to ball gambling and secretly having gigs. His wife then dragged him to teach, but it still doesn't stop here when Tobacco says, then tell me the truth of yourself. Infinite is afraid of being a big deal. Therefore, told him to be old enough, but the Tobacco side refused. You can ask. Bantu said that she had a problem with her husband. She can't get along with her husband. That's also because of a past story that Ramachandra had cheated on. At that pace, Ramachandra came into here, therefore walked to slap Bantu's face. He said that try to love someone to know how valuable a lie is. I replied that I know lies are important, but you know how strong your love is only if you tell the truth. After Bantu told many truths, people in the house also changed themselves, especially Ramachandra and Yasu. Both have spoken in their hearts. Sorry, each other finally reconciled. After living apart for years, on the uncle's side, I'm afraid that Bantu will make me infinite, until becoming big in the company like Ramachandra, so they plan to invent and offer to buy shares again to hope to rely on future inventions, which in this round, Ramachandra is still sick. Can't go to help. So Anand sent Bantu to manage instead. Bantu went into singing, dancing, turbulent meetings, then he tore the invention's contract book before his eyes. As soon as Infinite knew that Bantu had successfully managed the invention, he was very happy and will hold a feast. By this work, a mew came. They celebrated, sang, danced together playfully. After work, Yasu went to see Bantu and Angmu kissing the next day. Bantu was called to plead guilty, the story of secretly dating Raj's fiancée, a few minutes of insults, and reiterate his guilt in front of everyone, also recruiting other things to speak like egg-beating colors. Makes Bantu look very bad. When he finished speaking, he dragged him away, and then taunted him. Then Bantu and Mu went for a drive together. She said not to make a sad face. Her engagement was cancelled. It's a good thing, the Bantu side said. There was one truth he wanted to tell, which is about his real parents, after listening to the whole thing. Emu just doesn't understand why he didn't tell his parents the truth. Bantu only replied that, I feel like sending a blank paper in the exam room, and after Bratu's absence, you took the opportunity to kidnap Infinite's granddaughter, in order to intimidate, sign a stock trading contract, and also told Rajasthan to bring the papers alone. On the obstetric side, and Ramachandra agreed to sign their shares for after the document is signed. Raj will take the documents to send, but Miki Day came to stop. He said it was too dangerous for Raj, who was still so soft on earth. Raj then became angry. He said no one really knew me. I was smoking and drinking, grow marijuana. The other thing is that I love her. I wanted to help her myself. Rat's emotional outburst shocked everyone, because no one's ever seen it before, but they were glad that Rat finally dared to express his true identity. Miki Day is very worried, to the point of calling to ask Bantu to help, but Bantu refused. When you get to your house, found out you looked, and all your crew were taken down. which the person who did was Bantu shortly before. He broke in, took care of your men one by one, cool style according to his style, and you were stabbed in the chest by Bantu. To get revenge for what he used to do to Ramachandra, afterwards, Bantu took Infinite's grandchildren back. Infinite called Bantu to thank you and ask why you came to help despite who have already been kicked out of the house. Bantu said he just wanted to see Anand's family love each other. He only wants to help after we finished talking. Bantu and one Miki will be excused, but that asked Miki Day, "Do you have anything to say?" Which he said no. Then Anand got up and slapped his face, along with saying that Bantu is his grandson, his flesh blood, which Anand knew the truth before Bakazi. He heard what the nurse said to Bantu that day. He turned to tell Ramachandra that Bantu is your son, all my treasure heirs. I let him into the house. I met my parents, have used money, because I want to know if he's coming to ask for the treasure. But not at all. Bantu doesn't demand anything. Then Infinite turned to ask Bantu that, if not coming into this house for treasure or telling the truth, why would you come in? Bantu then replied that it's not just parents who want their children to be happy, people who are children themselves too, during the family's trouble. It's getting tough. I can't stand watching. I just want the man who hurt you to kneel at his feet. I want you to reconcile with me, and I want you to be the ultimate success. This is my reason. I don't need anything more. On the side, Ramachandra burst into tears of appreciation. He said to Infinite that I told you, right? My child must be like this child. Bantu walked in to comfort Ramachandra to stop crying, where he said, "Calm down, father." As soon as Ramachandra heard Bantu call him dad, very happy and want Yasu to know the truth quickly, therefore will take Bantu to her. But Bantu forbade it, he said 25 years ago. Miki Day used to take these two children from the mother's chest. In the past, Yasu raised her well and loved her children very much. If going to tell the truth, it's no different than what Miki did. Yasu will be very sorry. After that, Yasu walked to Bantu. She came in to thank him for helping her family. Yasu accepted him and saw him as another child and also raised half of the company's shares to Bantu. Besides, she will also let Raj go to Miki's house. To learn the world and develop talent, she asked Juan Miki to help teach Rajasthan as she had taught Bantu. But when Raj was there, he likes it very much because it makes him comfortable and feels like this is more of a house than that big mansion. Set up a scene to go to Bantu, going up to work with Amu, with family sent and having a day. Miki stood looking jealous. From the movie, we can see that Bantu has a habit of speaking only the truth, absolutely not lying. But when it comes to his real parents, Bantu instead chose not to tell the truth so that no one has to regret it. Especially Yasu speaking the truth. Frankly, that's a good thing. But sometimes, that fact will probably upset the people we love. This is a very delicate matter. So before saying anything, always think well before saying it. Finally, I want to ask everyone that if the person we love to taste the food and it is not delicious, everyone will honestly say or lie that it is very delicious. Although there are some discontent, but if he sees good intentions, he will understand himself. If you like this clip, click like. Want to see the next clip? Click the liner. See you next clip. Hello there.